And we are live. What's up, beasties? It's it's Triple B, your friendly neighborhood bearded book beast. Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another episode of Beast Friends Forever. Woo! It's going to be a fun one today. I'm so excited to have my guest for today on. I've been reading their book. Their book is fantastic. The cover is stunning. I'll show it to you in a little bit. But they also are just hilarious. If you follow them on social media, you've seen a lot of their little bits that they do. They're just a really funny person, but also just a wonderful person. Somebody who I've been chatting with. They're very kind, and I'm so excited for you beasties to get to know them and to get to learn more about their book so that you can grab it and support them and be at the front lines for this writing career that's about to take off. So without further ado, let me bring them on. I'm talking about my guest today is Lord Timothy Stormcrow. What is up?
Hey everyone, how we doing? Can you hear me okay?
Yeah. Everything looks and sounds good. Welcome, man. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me here. So I had nothing else to do. It's nice to be here.
Heck yeah. All right, so we got some people coming in right now. We've got author Ellen Holmes is here. What's up, Ellen? Thanks for being here. Appreciate you. And anybody else that is in the chat, feel free to ask questions or leave comments, and we will respond to them. And if you're someone that's just hanging out and listening, we appreciate that too. And if you're watching this on replay, we appreciate you as well. Make sure everybody checks the description. I've got Timothy's book linked in there, and also where you can find him on social media so that you can be a part of his journey after you get to know him today. So, all right, here we are. It's Saturday. For me, it's 11. For you, it's 4. But at least it's not super late for either one of us. So this is a good timing.
Everyone's nice and fresh. I like that.
Oh yeah, exactly. So show everybody that sweet mug first, because I know people are going to see that and want to be like, "Whoa, look at this thing, guys! How cool is that?" Now, is that real wood?
No, it's not wood. It's clay.
It is clay?
Yeah.
Oh, it's even cooler. So it's really like legit.
Yeah, it's got a bit of weight to it, so you can thump someone. So it's pretty good.
You're going to have to write that into one of your books now.
I have already.
Oh my goodness. All right. So to start off, why don't you, in your own words, tell us what your book, The Lich Before the Darkness, is all about?
So Lich Before the Darkness is a story. It follows 3 protagonists, Aislinn, Maeve, and Eric. And it's set in our world, but it's all mythological creatures. They all exist like we thought they did for years, but nobody really cares because they're so natural part of life, and now they're treated like it's a medical condition because we understand things more. So all the three characters, it all sets place in the UK, and these are all real places in the UK, and you can look up the roads and the streets and see the exact places I'm talking about. And because I'm so sick of books being like everything's in London. Like there's so much more to the UK. It's not London.
Yeah.
Although it's a great city and there's so much stuff happens there, but there's so many little towns and roads and villages everywhere. So they're all from different places.
Mm-hmm.
So it just follows their journey of Aislinn starts working for the Departments of Mysteries and Discoveries, and they go around and they investigate people who, like, if there's someone who's just been affected with lycanthropy, if it's werewolf activity, if it's vampire activity, if it's suspicion of ghosts or something like that, and they go try and help the person. And then if matters get more extreme, they're responsible for taking care of them, eliminating them. And she works for it's a bit underfunded because it's the government. So I thought that was an important bit to have. Technically, it's funded by the NHS. Mm-hmm. So big part of that would be for people over here. And then, so she works there, and it's all about her job and becoming some of that. Maeve, she works in the private sector. So she works for the Witchfinder General, who comes from a long line of people, which actually goes back in history, for a long line of people who have done this sort of work, and they've built themselves up and built quite a lot of money from this. And so they're if the case is a bit extreme and the government can't handle it, then they take care of it. And then it's all about, it follows her, and in her first day, in one day, she's murdered, she's resurrected, and she's fired. So yeah, she has a bit of a bad time, and then it's just her job of coming back to life and starting off on her own. And then you've got Eric, who it starts off, he doesn't come in till a bit of the way into the
Mhm.
story, and then it becomes more focus on him as he learns that all his life he's been able to speak with the dead, and then he learns more that he can control the dead and talk to them and talk to ghosts, not just like a medium would, but he can see them in front of him. And for all the, I wanted to write it in a way that there are some people who know a lot more about, because I'm huge into mythology and folklore
Mhm.
and stuff like that, and there's some people who aren't. So if you're reading the book and you are into things, you'll pick up on the little hints that I've left around for what, especially for like Eric. There's certain things that are hinting towards powers and stuff that they may have, and then obviously there's the ones that people know, like obviously silver bullets for werewolves and garlic for vampires, and it explains why. And I wanted to also show why, like how these creatures, these people would survive in our modern world. So like vampires can go outside because we've got factor 50 sunscreen, so they can
I
live a
love
normal
that.
life,
Yeah.
and they survive off blood donations
Mhm.
from blood drives that can't be used. They survive off that, and it's just how they work, and how, rather than just them being instantly killed, because that
Yeah.
wouldn't happen in this day and age. And yeah, so that's basically that.
Oh, I love it, man. And real quick, LN asked if it was in that order: murdered, resurrected, and fired. And yes, it was. And
Yep.
it's just as funny and entertaining as it sounds.
Yeah. I
Uh,
wanted to also make it with the because I wanted resurrection to be capable, but
mhm.
it's not the everyday.
Yeah.
So it's described Maeve's resurrected, and the reason she's fired is because it's the only time it can be done. Like
Yeah.
this one item that bring about, they can't. And where the world shifted more towards technology in our time, they abandoned magic, especially in the UK. Everyone would have known about druids. We would have known about, all the
Right.
stuff, Wiccans, all that stuff. So I describe in the book, magic's like a muscle. And if it's not used, it will wither. And
Hmm.
so all the magic, well, there's very little magic in the world, very little. And so because everyone went more for technology, and that's why we've lost these things to history, so we can't have people being resurrected all the time and stuff like that. So I wanted to
Yeah.
be able to do it, but also not make it the norm.
Yeah. I like what Ellen says here, like sunscreen for vampires, love it. Like that is something, as I'm reading your book, that I love. Is it just feels like so quickly you just created, like, this is the world, and it just feels so alive and uh like normal.
Yeah.
And I love how quick you do that. And you write with this humor that I love. You write characters that very quickly, and not even like, you don't like, some authors have to like tell so much about a character to get you to understand them and get invested, but you have a way with your writing, which is something I love, because I'm a character reader, where just in a scene, I know the characters already, and I'm like invested in them just from whatever they're doing. And I think that that is a talent, so I think you do that really well. So the combination of those things, I'm really enjoying it. And I actually love how you chose to start off the book. I loved in like graphic novels and movies back in the day when it would start off with like an interview or a talk show or something like that, and you kind of use that to show what's going on in the world and introduce everything. And it was so entertaining and so well done. Like, I'm like, yes, I love this. So how did you decide to start off like that? Was that something you always planned, or did it just kind of come to you?
It just kind of I was trying to figure out how to start it, because I know I wanted it to start with the job interview,
Yeah.
but I also wanted to introduce the world we're going into.
Hmm.
And we have a show over here called Question Time, and it's, well, they interview prime ministers, they interview like PMs, everyone,
Yeah.
and they all sit around and discuss it. And I thought it would be, so years and years ago they had a couple of guests on there, and it got a bit rowdy, and well, rowdy for Question Time.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
People were shouting things out and were told immediately to hush, but it was a bit
Right.
like, like, and so that kind of got me the idea there, and it would be just be a way to not only demonstrate one character's, what one character is, but also make him a threat, but show that he's almost on the side of good.
Hmm.
like that being Wolfric, with a case of where he's coming from with things. And then I just thought, I did originally think of playing it and making it in, like, making an entire fantasy world, but I thought,
Oh yeah,
what's better than our world? I mean, the clash of technology nowadays of just picking up your smartphone and looking things up, which is, that just kind of brought me into it. And I thought she could just be trying to do a bit of research last minute before her job interview, and she could look up what her boss was doing last night.
yeah, I
So
love that. Yeah, it was so well done, and it's such a perfect segue. Then, Austin, then you're with this character, and it's the interview and stuff. So, very awesome. El Montague just popped in. That's right, another author from abroad. Thanks for being here, El. Appreciate it. Um, so like I said, it was a perfect way to segue into the characters, and I loved it. So, I would consider this book, as I'm reading it, to be like urban fantasy in that genre, which
yeah,
I think is a genre that gets slept on a lot in when people talk about books and fantasy in general. But urban fantasy, I think, is very popular with readers because, just a little side note, I made this video when I first started this channel called my top 10 urban fantasy, and when I started, obviously I got like no views because I was just starting out. But it's been over a year, and that video has gotten the most views of any of my videos, and which kind of sucks because it was an early one, so it's not the best quality, or my personality is not really showing through in that video. Um, but it just keeps getting views and keeps getting views, and people are always like commenting on it, asking for more Rex for urban fantasy. So that's why I'm excited about this book, because it's just always been a genre that I love, and that I feel like when I found booktube, fantasy and stuff is pushed so much like the regular fantasy that I haven't read as much urban fantasy, but reading your book, it's like, oh, I love. It's probably, honestly, probably my favorite genre. So, besides grimdark and urban fantasy, I think are my two. But you capture the urban fantasy, man. The humor, the hope, the zaniness, but the gritty realism too. So I'm excited for people to read this book, man, because I love it, and I think that once people discover it, they're gonna love it, man. It's gonna take off.
no, thanks. I appreciate it. It's still strange to hear anybody say that they like it and all that. I'm like, okay, because everyone that's read it has given it like high ratings, but so
Yeah,
few people have read it.
yeah.
I'm just like, oh god. So
Yeah,
it's weird.
I know. We got to get people to find it, man. That's what we got to do. That's what this is good. It's good that you're doing stuff like this, and especially. And I mean, I do this stuff. I'm used to it, but as someone who's a reader and a writer, and I'm a little introverted. I prefer not to like be out there and stuff. So it's brave to do it because I know it's something you're a little nervous about, but I think it's good because. One, it gets your book out there, but two, it's going to get you out there. And you, my friend, have an awesome, hilarious, engaging personality that I think when people get to know you, they're going to be like, oh man, I got to buy that book. That dude's hilarious.
Hopefully, fingers crossed, and yeah, hopefully.
So yeah, man, it's good. And the book is very good. Oh yeah, Keys just asked, the name of the book is The Lich. Am I saying it right? Is it Lich? The
Yeah,
Lich
it's a lich.
Before the
Yeah,
Darkness?
yeah.
So let me, real quick, I haven't actually shared my screen on this yet. Let me share it to show everybody here we go. Here's the cover. Oh, can you see it?
No,
No. Yeah, let's say, it says, shit. Oh, I got to do this. I got it. Boom. Oh, that's not very big.
there we go.
Hold on. Let me zoom in. This is a new
I know I
platform
should have
for
grabbed
me.
a copy before we started. Well, in the
All right.
meantime, here's a copy of Game of Thrones. If
Yeah,
anybody
here's
just
Game
pretend
of
it's
Thrones.
that one, it's fine.
Let me change my let's do the no. Hold on, guys. We'll get there. One of these is gonna work. Nope. Nope. Come on. I guess
That'll
why
do.
won't it
That'll
just
do. That'll
make
do.
it big? That's
Just
dumb.
get closer to the screen, everybody. Just
Yeah,
get
just look
closer to the.
real
Get
close.
real
Uh
close to it.
this is how we learn, This is how we learn, guys. Um but anyway, you can see it still there. It's not very big. Let me actually, you know what? I'm just gonna do this. I'm gonna share it. We're going to remove this, and we are going to go to. I'm going to go to this. We're just going to go right onto Amazon and click on it.
Nice.
And then maybe I'll see if it's a little bit bigger.
I'm just going to pretend I'm doing something over here.
You are. You're just watching me struggle here. That's what you're
Yeah.
doing. It's not your fault.
I'm supporting you,
Nope,
though. Go for
not
it.
any
You got.
bigger.
There we go.
Anyway, you can at least see the whole cover now.
Yeah.
It is an awesome cover. I love the limey green. It's one of my favorite colors. So
Hmm.
that and the blue, it looks pretty sweet.
Yeah. The actual picture will make sense towards the end of the book.
Okay, I was gonna ask, like, is this like an actual scene from the book?
Yeah, it's
Okay,
quite a
very
pivotal
cool.
moment. It will make sense, so there won't be any
Okay,
spoilers.
awesome. Uh, Ellen says she's very close to the screen, but it looks really good. And Keys loves the greens. I agree. It looks so good. But it's a striking cover, my friend, and I wish I could make it bigger. It's really annoying that
That's
it
right. When
won't.
everyone buys it in a minute, they can look at it as close as they want.
Wait, hold on. Maybe I can. Okay, okay. Hold on. I'm onto something here. I'm onto something.
Oh, there we go.
I switched it to a different spot. All right, there. At least now people can see it
There we
somewhat.
go.
All right, so talk to us a little bit about this cover and how the process went. Like, how did you come up with it? How did you find an artist? How did it go creating it? Let us know a little bit about that.
So I obviously can't draw, and it's one of the problems I have. And with this being a first, like my first book, I've had to do everything myself, and I've been,
Mm-hmm.
it's like I couldn't, we can't afford editors, can't afford anything like that. So
Mm-hmm.
I drew the cover, not that cover. So I drew the cover myself, sort of had the idea, and I sent it to a bunch, like so many artists, friends of mine, artists that I found online, and it was either everyone was too busy
Mm-hmm.
or they wanted like a fortune to
Oh
make the
yeah.
video.
Right.
So yeah, so I have to say, upon for my sins, that one is actually AI, and it went through a couple of things, and I'm fully in support of using next time when it comes around. I've got some sales fully in support of using artists, but unfortunately I couldn't afford
Yeah.
one this time, and
Yeah.
I didn't want to make it too. I went through several to have that and just find the right picture.
Yeah.
But it was just a case of everyone was so busy, or it was
Mm-hmm.
like I think one guy wanted about 5 grand. It was
Oh
so
yeah.
I'm not going to
Some.
give you that,
Yeah.
but yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm all for
I hear you,
supporting
man.
people,
I hear you.
absolutely.
Yeah.
But yeah, so unfortunately, so the next cover, hopefully, I'll be able to. Well, I'm saving up for it, so hopefully, I'll be able to have a proper artist do something similar. But I'm
Yeah.
thinking of going purple for the next
Oh
color.
yeah, that would be sweet.
Yeah,
Purple
so
and
it'll be some.
green, those are my two favorite together.
There you go.
Talking my
So
language, man. Well, yeah, I love it, and I think that's cool that it's a scene in the book. So I'm excited to um, check it out. I can't wait, man.
cool.
So, all right, we talked about the book a little bit. I
Yeah.
want to know your characters are awesome. How did you come up with all of them? Was it inspired from a little pieces of other things you've read or watched? Was it something that's just kind of been living in your head a long time and these characters you thought up and they grew that way? Are they based on anybody in your life? How did you come up with these awesome characters?
It's just I think they're more. So, for example, Eric is just. I mean, if you come across Eric in the book, yeah, I know you're still reading it.
I don't think I
So
got to Eric yet.
okay, so Eric's quite shy and reserved, and I
Okay.
always found like I've travelled a lot and I've met so many people over the years, and from all of that, and you just find there's certain like we all fit in certain branches and certain slots that we all sort of go into, and that's kind of how Eric is. Oswin, one of my personal favourite characters, is the local bloke that you'd meet down the pub. He's the typical bloke that you find down the pub, and that's
Yeah.
why Oswin's one of my favourites. Aislinn, I suppose she's like I said, sounds a bit strange, but I see a lot of my mother in her, of
Okay.
just from knowing about her, because she's a bit of a tomboy, but she obviously likes to dress as a girl sometimes, but sometimes dress up. But she's a tomboy and she's
Hmm.
gets stuff done and do it. And I like them. I wanted her to be not a badass action girl, but I wanted
Hmm.
her to grow into the role
Oh
of
yeah.
not
Hmm.
just because I find characters, it's their imperfections that make them interesting and their
Yes,
vulnerabilities.
I agree.
And yeah, and it's the case of so she's gone into this new role, and she's just, as you'll see when you go through that, she slowly has to grow into it and use. I didn't want her. Again, when you're going up against some of these creatures, you will be, no matter how strong you are, you will be overpowered. So you
Oh
have
yeah.
to use your mind.
Right.
And I wanted her to be. I see a lot of that. She wanted to be. She's quick-witted. She's sharp. She knows. She got a world full of intellect and intelligence, and she just absorbs things. But I didn't want her to be like, perfect. And the same as you'll see in the conversations as well. I wanted people to, because I always find in some of the books that I read, people, it's very dramatic the way they speak to each
Mm-hmm.
other. It's not, they don't speak like a real conversation. Nobody missays, nobody mispronounces anything, nobody
Right.
stutters, nobody says something wrong, or
Yeah. Yeah.
or burps mid sentence. And I wanted them to be
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah. I love
And
that.
then Maeve was just, I wanted to bring across, because when you get across with Maeve, it's the fact of she's a woman that uses her sexuality to her advantage,
Mm-hmm.
but at the same time doesn't like that part of herself, of the fact of it's one of her greatest tools, and she is incredible. But I've tried to put it across in the book, she's incredibly sexy, but it's the case of she knows, she's aware of what she is, but there's more to her.
Mm-hmm.
But and she, she's intelligent, and she also knows what she's not, hence Michael, of the case of
Yep.
he's the muscle
Yeah.
essentially, and Michael as well. I wanted to. He's kind of based on someone that I met once,
Okay.
and it's not the size of him or anything like that. It's just the attitude that he's perfectly comfortable with doing uncomfortable things,
Yep.
and it's the case of he gets no. For people in the boat, he gets no pleasure for, if he has to kill someone or if he has to
Yeah.
do
Yeah.
anything.
Yep.
There's no pleasure to it. It's
Right.
just a simple fact of this needed to be done.
Yep.
And there's so many people like that are, they're in the armed forces, they do all kinds of like jobs, and they're just so comfortable with, this is what it is.
Yep.
Almost like people who work in like abattoirs. It's the case of, they don't want to do it, but
Right.
it just happens that otherwise no one
Yeah.
will do it. And
Yep.
it was fun to explore that side of him,
Mm-hmm.
and just have, so they're all based on, tropes and people, like not like people I've met, but certain personality
Yeah.
quirks that
Yeah.
would do.
Little pieces. Yeah.
Yeah, little bits and pieces. And then you have obviously the little bit players that are only in for a chapter and stuff, and that's
Yeah.
just fun to have those in there. But yeah, I like to think that everyone can see themselves in one of the characters, or certain aspects of themselves in
Oh
each
yeah.
character.
Yep.
So
Yeah. I loved how they're not definitely not cookie cutter. They're not just like one trope and then that's what that character is. They are very flawed and deep, all the characters. So yeah, I love that explanation because I really want that to get across to people that it's a fun story and there's a lot of cool ideas, but the characters are really amazing. So I'm glad that you described them so well.
thanks.
Yeah. So it's got kind of the third person multi POV thing going on. Was that always your plan, or did you ever think about doing first person or third person, just focusing on one character, or did you always plan to give them all the spotlight like that?
I always wanted to give them like, so it could jump from person to
Hmm.
person, so it can be like, we don't have to have, and then they went here, and then
Yeah.
with that there's
Yep.
other, while you're not seeing something happen with one character, it
Yep.
causes an event with another, and then you
Hmm.
can jump straight into, rather than have to go through all the little
Yep.
details,
Yep.
it just jumps straight into, like,
Yep.
because the world will, it's the other thing as well of, I've in obviously this book, obviously the UK is pretty big, it's not as big as obviously America,
Hmm.
but we I always find it strange in books where people's paths cross directly, so the
Yeah.
characters will always meet, and it's the case of they are all in the same sort of line of work, but there's no reason why all my characters would meet. And I think there's been a couple of people that have read it and have expected that,
Yeah.
sort of almost like the Avengers all coming
Yeah.
together.
Yeah.
But I thought real life's, even though it's fantasy, real life's not like that. Everyone would
Yeah.
be, and you can see, again, if you pay attention to the bits, you can see how they're affecting each other in different parts of the country and how it's all going around. And I wanted it to, I did think originally of doing it in first person, but I think this way, the way I've done it now, works better, because you can
Hmm.
see, and you can have still have like a bit of internal monologue, but you can also see it from just the viewpoint. Obviously, each chapter is from it follows everybody around, and then obviously it switches between, but you still carry on with it. So,
Yeah, for sure. I
mm.
love it. A couple comments in here. So Keys had talked about when we were talking about introvertedness earlier. He did start a channel with his wife. Check out Keys' channel if you get a chance. You should get back into it, man. But anyway, that was his way of saying to you, good way to put yourself out there, because it's not always easy for all of us. So that's awesome. And then EL, who's an author and has awesome covers, I will share his email with you after this. He said he wanted you to know he's got some artists who are much more reasonable too.
Oh, absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely, yeah. Send me the thing for
So,
that.
and he's an awesome guy. So he loves to help others out, and he's written like a bajillion books. So you can pick his brain too, because he's just a great guy. But all right. So next question: you talked about how book book one is out, and book two are you working on? Like, how far are you into book two? Like, are you
So
writing it still? Are you
yeah,
editing?
yeah.
Where are you at with it?
So currently we're about 30,000 words into it.
Nice, good
I've been
chunk in.
sketching, yeah, I've been sketching Outlander, and also this one. So originally when I wrote The Lich Before the
Mhm.
Darkness, a lot of people that I spoke to said, "Oh, I'd like to read, but I don't have a lot of time,"
Yeah.
and so I made the chapters quite short, which I'm sure you noticed. So I thought, yeah, they could read a
Yeah,
couple of bits a
yeah,
night,
yeah, yeah.
and then the people that have read it were like, "No, we want more. Why is it so?" Because it is quite a short book, and I was like, "Oh, okay." And so now the sequel, I've made the chapters bigger. I've made and where the stakes are ramping up in it,
Okay.
I've made things, as you'll see when you get through it. I've just made
Ooh.
things bigger and better, and I get to explore a bit more. And I know the characters and what
Yep,
they're
yep.
doing. I can, you know, change alliances, change anything I want, and it's getting interesting. So the second book, I was hoping to have it out by the start of next year, but
Wow.
I had a lot of personal stuff going on at the moment,
Yeah,
so it's probably looking towards the end of next year,
yeah, yeah.
at least till it's finished. But I need to. I the only reason I was able to write the last book was we've moved house, and I used to
Mhm.
have a little room that was basically a cupboard, and it was pitch black,
Oh,
and I
wow.
could focus.
Yeah.
And so I've been trying to write in my office now, which is a bit brighter, but I still can't get the mindset. So I've cleared the shed out, and I now have a table in there. It's freezing cold, and I write by candlelight, surrounded
Oh,
by
man.
an old fridge, a
That really
Bible,
sets the
and other
mood,
rubbish.
though.
Yeah, so you get to sit there. So now I'm back into the darkness. It'll be I did set the limit of either an hour or 1,000 words a day,
Oh, nice.
and
Okay.
that's how I hacked away and got the last book done. So I've started doing that again, and it's starting to flow.
That's
So
awesome, man.
it's on its way. So,
That's impressive to be able to do that. That's a good way too to say either an hour or 1,000, because sometimes the words aren't going to come out the way you want, right?
yeah,
But as long as you take that hour and you're making progress, like, that's awesome. That's really
yeah.
good.
There's sometimes you get a sentence down, and other times it will just fall out of you, and then
Yeah.
you just keep writing, keep
Yep.
doing it.
Keep going.
But you can't chase it.
Yep, I love it. Awesome stuff. So, how many books do you foresee taking to tell this story?
So this one was I did have the original idea for it to be a trilogy,
Hmm.
and I was also considering, as the characters have developed, at least two of them give them sort of a side spin off.
Nice. Yeah.
So one of them was going to be was I was considering doing a spin off for Eric,
Oh,
because what will
nice.
happen to him in the sequel.
Okay.
I've got an idea of sort of like what it deserves a book of its own
Hmm.
to explain that. And then the other one was going to be almost a history of
Oh,
Philip.
that's a good idea.
Yeah, so
Okay.
for
Yeah.
with the job that he's done, because I'll be honest, Philip is one of my favorite characters in the book, because he's nobody likes him, but he's necessary.
Yeah.
If it's the case of he's absolutely right with the things he said. It's just, and he doesn't care that people don't like him. He doesn't care of this, because he knows
Yeah.
what needs to be. He's unfortunately what needs to be done,
Hmm.
and you can see us as the sequel comes along. You'll see him develop a bit more, and then it's the case of you see all sorts of things like characters. Well, say Philip develop a bit more. You'll see as to why he is the way he is, and so it'll be interesting to have a story of, a history of the man, And so I thought about doing that. But yeah, but I think it's about a trilogy, and there might be another book in it, but I don't want to drag the story. I don't like it
Mhm.
when stories drag on for too
Yeah.
long,
Yep.
and you
Yep.
don't need to know. I mean, it's nice when they finish, and it's nice, to leave them wanting more. But it's also the case of you don't want to keep just, oh yeah, let's just keep going, let's just make new stuff. No, give them their ending, let them walk off into the sunset.
Yep. I love that.
So,
Very nice. J.R. Carell is here, another awesome author. What's up, J.R.? Thanks for being here, man. He says, never have time to sit down and write, and now I'm used to writing on the go. It's hard to get back to writing. Like that's true. A lot of people get in the habit of writing on their phone or being on the move and writing, and then I'm sure it's hard to go back to sitting in one spot. But um, have you ever tried to do that, like write on your phone when you're out and about somewhere?
I won't write full sentences, but I'll have ideas, and
Yep.
then I
Yep.
end up screaming at people to shut up while I write on my notes. It's very when I met my wife, it was when I started writing notes, we'd be holding hands and walking through the shops or whatever, and she'd be
Yeah.
like, oh, just talking to me, and I'd be, shut up, shut up, shut up while I wrote this down. And it started off there were arguments like, don't tell me to shut up, and then it's like, no, I'm writing, I forget, don't shut up, don't worry.
I can't.
And
It can't fall out of my head.
yeah, I can't. It's happened when we've been driving as well. So I was just screaming down the road, "Write this down!" as I'm driving. But that's the way that I do it. I'll have like flashes and ideas of stuff as I'm
Yeah.
walking around, as I'm just doing stuff, or you're having a conversation with someone,
Yeah.
and you'll say something, gets a laugh, and then you'll be like, "Actually, that's not a bad idea," and it's just having fun with friends, and it's an idea that you can like someone said something, or and so my notes on my phone is just full of just random nonsense that I can turn into something.
Yeah.
Be it one of the elsewheres, be it one of a full part of the story or a little side story or anything like that. So, but I can't. Yeah, I have tried a little bit to like write on my phone, like
Yeah.
while waiting for something. But I just can't. I have an unquiet mind, so it's difficult to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. So you need that dark shed
Yeah,
to
I need the dark
get it
shed
out.
that's cold and a candle and a cup of tea.
That's good. All right. So in a second, we're gonna switch gears, and I just want to hear kind of your journey into getting into fantasy and books, and then writing,
Mhm.
and then when you decided to write this book. But first, I got a couple dad jokes for you, and I know you got one for me
Hey,
too. So,
yeah, I got
all
one for
right,
you.
all right. First one. Here we go. What is Forrest Gump's password on his computer?
I don't know what is Forrest Gump's password on his computer.
One Forrest one. All right, all right. One more. This one's good.
No,
This one's good. All right. Why did the tomato turn an even more shade of red, an even deeper shade of red?
I don't know.
Because they saw the salad dressing.
That's stupid. I like that. That's just silly.
I know. I love the dumb ones like that. All right, all right.
Yeah,
Now you got a really good joke, which
I
which
got
uh,
one. I got one.
which I
I got
have heard, but I do love it, and I'll tell people where I heard it from, which is interesting. But
so
tell us the joke.
right. So um, these three guys, they all go to heaven at the same time. They all die, bus crash, something like that. And as they all arrive at heaven, Saint Peter's there, and he says to them, "Lads, you've all had really good lives. Welcome to heaven." And the gates open up, and they see paradise. And then he turns to them and says, "Don't step on any ducks." And they're a bit confused, and they walk into heaven, and there's just ducks everywhere. They're on everything. They're walking around. They're everywhere. So the first guy goes about an hour, and he steps on a duck. And Saint Peter appears next to him in a big puff of smoke, and with him, he's got one of the ugliest women you have ever seen in your life, like, like, like a troll. And he handcuffs into the bloke and said, "I warned you, don't step on any ducks." And he disappears. Our next guy goes about 6 months, steps on a duck. St. Peter appears next to him, again with another ugly woman. Not as bad as the last woman, but still, still pretty rough. And he handcuffs him to the guy and he says, "I warned you, don't step on any ducks." And he disappears. So our third guy goes 5 years without incident. And he's just sat down, and it's the fifth anniversary of him coming to heaven. And St. Peter appears next to him with the most beautiful woman you've ever seen in your life, like created in a lab, just perfect. Doesn't say a word, handcuffs him, the girl to him, and disappears. And he's staring at her, and he just says, "Wow, just wow, you're so beautiful. Just what did I do to deserve a girl like you? And she says, well, I don't know about you, but I stood in a duck. And
Uh, I actually heard that joke in church on a Sunday. My pastor told that joke as part of his sermon. I don't remember what it was. Maybe it was perspective or something. I don't know, but that is a good one. That is a good one.
yeah, I enjoy that one. I enjoy
That
the
is
one because
good.
we don't know where it's going. And then
No,
suddenly,
you're like, oh wow, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh man, this guy. So well done, well done. All right. So take us back to when you were just a youngin, just a little wee Lord Timothy, um, and let us know kind of two things. One, what got you into fantasy or urban fantasy, into reading and all of that stuff, and then when did you start writing, and then at what point did you decide, you know what, I'm going to write this book, I'm going for it, and just take us through that journey.
cool. So I started off. Well, I was raised in a pub. So my dad used to be a landlord, and so I was used to, seeing people and hearing stories from everyone telling that, as you're a kid, just enraptured by people telling you about their lives. And then, I had a, childhood, normal childhood, and then eventually, when I was 15 years old, I signed up for the army, and I went in 2 weeks after I left school at 16. Went off into the army, and it was it wasn't what I wanted. It was all I wanted to do for my entire life.
Mhm.
And then once I got in, I thought, this isn't really for me. But while I was in there, I got to do so many awesome things. I got to play rugby in Australia for 2 weeks. I got to cycle across the peninsula of Spain. I got to go to France. Got to go to Germany. I spent a very drunken night in Hong Kong. Just all these things I got to do, and it just gave me a perspective of just seeing different people. Because like most of the lads that had joined up with me, that were in my platoon, they only really known their hometowns in the local area. So it was good to see all these places. Then when I left shortly before I turned 19, and then just after I turned 19, my mother died. And I don't have a very close family. I love my brothers and I love my nieces and nephews, but at the time we weren't a very close family. So there was nothing tying me to the area. So I just went walking, and I would travel all over the UK, just doing jobs here and there and living somewhere for a couple of months, and then just move elsewhere wherever I wanted to go. And eventually I ended up in Estonia for a couple of months, and I'd never heard of it till a few months before. And then ended up in Estonia, and it was just doing all these things and traveling so much, even though it was only around the UK, but you still I'd always end up with like foreigners and immigrants. You'd end up just meeting up with them and hanging out,
Mhm.
and you just learn different ways of life and just different perspectives, and just, they say travel broadens the mind,
Yeah.
and it really does. And so eventually you know, life carried on as it did. Then I started settling down along the south coast of England, and eventually I met my wife when I was 32. So I'm 38 now. We just had our anniversary a couple of
Oh,
weeks ago, about a
nice.
week ago.
Congrats.
Um, yeah, thank you very much. So I met my wife, and it sounds a lot worse than it is. So I met my wife, and finally, after all the chaos of living my life, I was finally somewhere settled and grounded,
Hmm.
where I was safe and I was loved, and I had a breakdown. It was a proper, like, I ended up and it got quite serious, and it was the case of I was considering, unaliving myself.
Hmm.
And it was just a case of, I didn't realize that, I mean, she straight away was supportive, and she got me into therapy straight away. And it was the case of, I'd never had that. I'd never had someone. I mean, I knew we loved each other, but I didn't
Hmm.
have anyone show that level of care to me in that sense. And after going through the therapy, I realised that I'd suffered from, depression, and all these things. And
Hmm.
I'm fine now. Still suffer from it, but it's the case of, you find ways of coping.
Yeah.
And I didn't realise how ill I was at the time. And so I'd always thought, when I was in my 20s, I dabbled a little bit in writing stories as a way of, I just found it helped me cope a little bit with life. And speaking to my therapist, he suggested maybe I focus more on writing a bit. And so I did, and it was funny because I said to her, I did used to tell everyone I was going to be a writer, but I never committed to it.
Yeah. Hmm.
And when I first met my wife, as a way of trying, trying to impress her and impress, I said to her, "Oh yeah, well I'm going to be a writer. I'm going to be this," and she was like, "Oh okay." And then I gave her something I'd been writing, and to quote my lovely wife, she said, "Oh wow, it's like a real book." And I was, cheers for the support there, darling. Yeah, and she went,
What do you
"No,
know?
yeah, what do you know?" And she said it was because normally when people say I'm going to be a writer and they show you their work, it's and they did this
Yeah,
and
yeah,
they did that. And she was saying it was the case of you actually like you taking time and care, and you actually put effort into it. And speaking to my therapist, and he said maybe because I said about it and I dabbled, and he said maybe you should just try and put all your thought and effort and actually go for it because
yeah.
it's I wouldn't class myself. I'd class myself as an extrovert, but in small groups. So
Hmm.
it's the case of when I'm with friends, I'm the life of the
Yeah.
party. I'm the loudmouth. I'm the joker. I was the class clown at school. Everything. And the second it's like again, we came on. I wasn't on social media until a couple of months ago,
Hmm.
and then it's like I'm terrified. And before we come out here, it's like, oh no, it's like you're a big fish in a small pond, and now you're in the ocean. It's and so yeah, it was like getting over that, and it's the case of now putting something into the writing and putting it down. It was almost putting so much of myself into something, and it's now I'm sharing it with the world. It's there's that fear of that was what overtook me of what if I'm not good enough? What if people don't
Hmm.
like it? What if there's that? And it was just the case of I didn't realize how good it was for me to write. And then again, it was like this. I knew I was going to marry her when she essentially didn't turn her back on me and
Yeah.
helped. And it was just like that. It was just so strange. And then we went through the therapy and a lot of crying and for all that. And then all of a sudden, I said, no, I'm going to go for it now. And bless her, Amy was supportive the whole way. It's been, we haven't because I've been working part time to obviously have the time to write. We haven't had, I can't afford to go on holidays and stuff like that. So it's the case of, and she's been supportive the whole way. She's just been like, "This is what you want to do," and she keeps saying it's really good, and it's like, "Thank you." And so I'm not saying it just because you're my husband, but it's like an actual book. I'm like, thank you. And it's yeah, that was kind of the journey. It was like I always thought that I would be a writer, but it was one of them. You're like, oh yeah, I'm going to do this one day, and then you don't, and you dabble throughout the years. But then when I sat down and did it, the Lich Before the Darkness came out, and it was just how it came out of me was just I don't want to use the word easy, but it was natural, if that's the word. I was just able to sit down and tell a story, and people have
Hmm.
said to me my whole life. My friends tell me, everyone tells me that I'm a natural storyteller,
Hmm.
and it just seemed to it felt right, and hopefully other people have experienced the same thing. Of it's just easy, it's natural to sit down and write a character and have them tell your story and tell their own story essentially, and you're just passing it on to the people. And that's kind of sorry. I'm normally a lot more light-hearted than that, but it got suddenly a
Hey,
little bit deep there. So
that's good. That's good, man. That's what I love to hear. When you talk to somebody about their journey, like sometimes it gets deep. Like it's not
yeah,
always just, well, I decided to write a book and everything's all, rainbows and butterflies.
yeah.
Life is not always easy and the journey's not always easy, but I think that's awesome, man. That's inspiring to me and to a lot of people. Ellen, who's in the chat, said that, and I agree with this. Glad you're still here with us, man. Your world needs you and your
Thank you very
story.
much.
And I agree. Like that's inspiring because uh-oh. Timothy, are you still there? Uh-oh. We lost him. Can you guys still see me? Let me know if you can still see me. I just want to make sure that I just lost him and not that I'm not actually gone. Oh boy, hopefully he comes back in. That's odd. We haven't had any trouble. Yes. Okay, you can still see me. That's good. I'm sure he'll pop back in. Hopefully he realizes he's not in here. I never know what it's like when somebody gets booted out. I don't know if they still are just can see me or not. But anyway, There he is. He's back.
Sorry, that'll be my
Oh,
signal.
there you are. You're back. You're back.
How are you all doing? It
Oh,
was just like, yeah. Sorry, I opened up a bit. Now I'm embarrassed. I got to go away.
yeah. You're like, I can't do it. No,
I can't
don't
do
be,
it.
man. I think that's inspiring. And like I said, depression, anxiety, all that stuff is a real thing that I think a lot of people deal with, and a lot of people do it in silence and don't want to admit that they've gone through something. So I think that is awesome that you're talking about it, and it's also inspiring to anybody else that's going through the same thing, that there is always hope and light on the other side, and also to not give up on a dream that you want to go after. And also, like you said, if you have a dream, at some point you actually physically have to go after
Yeah,
it,
you have
right?
to
You
physically
can't
do it.
just keep
Yeah.
saying, I'm gonna do this. You got to do it.
Yeah,
And I
absolutely,
would say
absolutely.
your wife sounds like a keeper, so I think that's awesome, man.
I won't tell her that. Nobody. No, 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 no. She doesn't.
She
She doesn't need the ego boost.
doesn't
Yeah,
need to hear
she knows. She knows. It's fine.
that.
I tell her I love her once a day. It's fine.
Oh yeah, that's good. That's good.
That's
uh, oh, I didn't even read it that way, Ellen. But yes, I think we knew you meant the world, not just not just Timothy's world, that the whole world
just
needs
my own
this
little
book.
world, but I appreciate the sentiment. Thank you very much.
Uh, all right. Oh, another awesome author is on. Russell Carroll. What's up, man? Thanks for being here. I asked everybody if they could see me when I lost you, because I'm like, oh no, was it me that went away? Am I still here? Can you guys
Yeah,
see
you
me?
froze, and I was like, I'll just hit refresh and see what happens.
Oh man,
So
yeah. Who knows? It's so hard to tell sometimes, because the bad thing is, for anybody that's in the chat, when you do these things, a lot of times on our end, everything will look good, and then somebody starts saying, "You guys are freezing up," or the audio is getting bad, but we'll hear and see everything just fine on our end, so it can be confusing. But anyway, that's awesome, man. I'm excited. I'm really glad that you wrote the story, because I'm loving it. I'm excited that you're here, and I'm glad that we get to be a part of this journey, man, that you're kicking off, and to see all the books and stories that you have to come. That's awesome.
thanks,
Um,
appreciate it.
yeah, man. So next up, I have some questions about your writing process. I always like to see how authors answer differently, because everybody does things different, which is really cool. You've talked about some of them a little already, but before we get into that, every day on my channel, I do a question of the day. So I like to ask my guest how they would answer. So today, my question of the day, I asked. Hold on, my mind just went blank. What did I ask? Um, oh my gosh. Oh yeah, no, I changed it. That wasn't it. Hold on. I already thought about it once because I didn't want to forget. Okay, I remember now. Are you still here, Timothy? You froze. Good gravy. What's happening? It's probably my fault. Am I freezing it all for you guys, or am I okay? I pay for the super high speed internet, so I better not be causing this problem. Dang it, AT&T, come on. Hopefully he's going to come back in here in a second. But again, while we're waiting for him to come back in, do not forget that in the description, I've got his book linked. Definitely go check it out. It is a lot of fun. And also, if you have Kindle Unlimited, it's on there, so that if you have that subscription, you could just snag it and read it, for free. You pay for the subscription, but you know what I mean. So definitely check it out. I'm having a blast with it. Like you've heard us talk about, the characters are great. There's a lot of humor, a lot of heart in it, and it's just a blast. So definitely check it out. All
All right,
right.
I'm gonna move around the house.
Oh no,
See if
did
I
it
can get
happen
up a bit.
again?
Yeah, let me see. I'll go down to a different room.
Okay.
Hang on,
So
I've got a bit of connection down here.
oh yeah, no problem. It happens. This kind of stuff happens. No big deal. Uh, so my question of the day, I usually ask one every day on my channel. So
Yep, yep.
today I asked, so four characters from books, four kind of lovable characters that everybody loves. They
Mhm.
live on the same street, and you're trick or treating. Which of these four do you think would give out the best candy at trick
Okay.
or treat time? We've got Samwise from Lord of the Rings.
Mhm.
We've got uh, Hagrid from Harry Potter.
Mhm.
We've got Sam Tarley from Game of Thrones, A Song of Ice and Fire, or Sazed from Mistborn. And who do you think? Who do you think is going to give out the best candy?
So I reckon Can you hear me okay now? Let me just check.
Yeah, I can hear you good.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, great. It's just you frozen on my screen, but I'll see you in a
Oh
sec.
shit.
So yeah, I think Samwise from Lord of the Rings would give the best and give
Hmm.
the most
Yep, I
because
think
he's
so
been
too.
through a lot. Bless him. Everyone needs a Sam. I think Hagrid. Ooh, Hagrid would be the easiest to trick, and we
Yeah.
could get more. And yeah, who were the other two again?
Uh, Sazed from Mistborn, the Cosmere,
Okay.
Brandon Sanderson, and let's see, Sam Tarley from Game
I
of
think
Thrones.
yeah, I think Sam Tarley would try and be responsible if he hadn't already eaten it himself.
Yeah, exactly.
And yeah, and I don't know the other guy.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Yep.
Have you read Mistborn or any of
No, I
the
haven't read
Cosmere?
Mistborn there.
Yeah, I just started reading it finally, like in the last couple of years. So I was
Hmm.
not on par with that either. But he's I just had to think of a fourth one, and I'm like, shoot, I thought of three everyone's gonna know, but I can't think of a fourth one that everyone will know. So I just threw that one in there. But good answer. El said, "Hey, we got to have a tour of Sukasa, and he loves the paintings on the wall. It says a lot
Oh,
about you and yours. So people enjoyed the quick tour as you were walking down the stairs." Um,
I should have tidied up. At least you get to see the walls and not the state of the floor.
right. Uh, yeah, let's see. El said that Hagrid would not require tricking. That is true, and that Russell said Sam Tarley would be too scared to open the door. That depends on which Sam Tarley you get. Near the end, well, I guess if you're talking about the show or the books, in the books he's still scared,
Yeah, he was the
but in the,
first person to kill a White Walker in 1,000
that's
years. Cool.
true.
Yeah.
Come on,
Yeah.
accidentally, but still, he stood his ground.
Yeah.
All right. So, writing process. So, my first question for you is now on the spectrum of an author, there's pantser all the way on one side. You just sit down, you write. You've got some things in your head, maybe, but you don't really like plot or plan anything out. Other side, you've got a plotter who plots everything out, has an outline, like basically a novel of outlines they transfer it over, they do not stray from their outlines. Where do you fall in there? Like in the middle? Do you lean towards one way or the other? Are you all the way to one side or the other? What do you think?
Oh yeah, all the way to a pantser, all the way. Just sit down and write,
I
and
thought
you'd
you
be
were a
surprised.
pantser.
Yeah, it's the. I noticed the other day I saw someone's feed and they had like character sheets for their own characters. I don't have that. Maybe I should do that. And I just keep it in my head what I need
Yeah,
everyone to know. To know, yeah. But yeah, total pantser. I have the odd idea. Like I said, I write
yeah,
something down,
yeah.
but I mean, it sounds cliche, but I let the characters tell me what they're going to
Hmm.
do, and they tell me their lives, and they tell me their likes and dislikes, and it's just, oh, okay.
Yeah, I love it. And I do wonder how sometimes I wonder with like different genres if that changes, you know what I mean? Like I can see if someone's writing some huge chunky book, epic fantasy long thing with a bunch of characters and all this world building, maybe they need to outline more. Whereas
Hmm.
when you're telling like a fast paced, fun urban fantasy story, maybe you can just have those notes in your phone and in your head and go from there. But I don't know. But I'm a little more of a pantser, so I get what you're saying. I just like to see where the characters take me. Now with this first book and into your second book, have you had any times where I feel like as a pantser, listening to the characters, have you had a character get more page time than you initially thought, or has like a event change because you're like, oh, that character wouldn't do that now, or ooh, they can't die yet, or they need to die sooner than I planned, anything like that.
Yeah, so I've had so one of the characters again, Philip, was just originally just going to be originally I made him very distasteful. No, again,
Mhm.
nobody liking him,
Yeah.
and then he's just sort of as I carried on with the story, and you'll get to it in the middle, you'll see obviously it show I didn't want him to be almost a brute, but I
Yeah.
wanted him to be very calculating and to see he's very intelligent. And again, want being the force of I w- he if you wouldn't do it in like terms of D&D, he'd be lawful good. And it's the case of yeah, he's necessary, but he does have a heart, and it's
Yeah.
also there's so many people, and it was the same with the character of Wolfric. I almost wanted them. Wolfric was going to have a big stake in it, and neither was Philip. And then when I realised that they would bounce off each other,
Hmm.
I ended up giving them more, and just giving them more in the book, giving them more to do, and it was just yeah, and again expanding on their history which you'll see in the book, and it's just. Yeah, it wasn't what I was intended originally. It was just going to be the three and maybe a couple of side characters with Oswin and Roland, and now they've all become a bit more. So I'd say that it was probably Philip and Wulfric were the two that grew more from almost two-dimensional to having a bit more, a bit more substance about them.
Oh, that's so fun, man. I feel like that way of writing too, it probably makes you enjoy writing more because it's like you're almost experiencing the story for the first time as you're writing it because you don't have all these things that have to happen. You have like some things you want to happen, but I think that that's a fun way to write, and it seems like it works for you.
Yeah, it's exactly that. It's the case of I'd like to, because I'll be honest, I got a bit of imposter syndrome doing this because there's so many other people who they're writers, they're artists, they know,
Oh yeah,
they know all the long words, they know all the words, they know everything, they write stuff down, they can tell you everything about their characters, and I'm like, nope, I just tell a story, and the characters, I obviously learn about them,
yeah.
but I just can't. Yeah, I can't do myself to that level of that degree, like a George R. R. Martin of something of
Hmm.
just knowing every backstory of everything.
Yeah.
I'm like, I like it, but people don't. I don't think that's not my style, and it's not my. I find a nice an easy way to write.
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, it works, man, because your book is awesome. So keep
Thanks.
doing what you're doing. Uh, oh, and I should say too that Russell Carroll said loves your sense of humor. By the way,
Oh,
too,
thank you very much.
and I agree. If you love his sense of humor in this interview, it bleeds into his books and his pages and his writing, and it's awesome. So, all right, next question. You touched on this a little earlier. You talked about how you try to do an hour when you write or 1,000 words. So is that kind of your goal always is to try to do 1,000? You make like daily goals, or do you make weekly or monthly, or and if you don't hit that goal, or do you always hit that goal? If you don't hit that goal, are you like it's fine, I'll do it tomorrow?
No, no. So it's the case. It's the same as going to the gym. It's reps,
Okay.
reps, reps.
Yep.
It's
Yep.
when I'm into it, and it's the case of if I'm sitting down to do this, it's everything else is taken care of. I've got
Yep.
nothing else to do. I've got an hour, or I always make sure I've got a bit of time afterwards in case it starts
In case
flowing.
it's flowing,
And
right?
it's
Yeah.
yeah, and you sit at that desk for an hour, or you write your 1,000 words, or you leave after an hour. And if you can make 1,000, because that's the aim, then obviously you feel it's incredible.
Hmm.
But if you can't make it, then you've done the hour, and it's you have to be disciplined with it, which is the way I found. I know everyone's got their own different ways,
Hmm.
but for me, that was the only way that it worked was sitting down and doing it, and that's the hard part is getting there. As I say, the hard part's showing up,
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
and that's
Yeah.
exactly what it is.
Yeah. Well, hey, I think I always like to bring this up. I read a statistic once, like 3% of people who start like a draft of a book actually finish it. You've already got one done, and you're 30,000 words into book two, so you are already in the minority of authors. So I would say you have a book out, and I'm telling you, it is good. You are a author, my friend. You are a writer. So just keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you very
Um,
much. I appreciate it.
yeah. EL said, this is pretty good. Words of wisdom from EL here. Blessed are the storytellers. Imposter syndrome is proof you're doing it right. There you go. I like that.
Yeah, I
Uh,
like that.
all right, next one. When you are writing, now I think you kind of are a creature of habit because you like to write in the dark shed with by candlelight. But do you find that hour of time just whenever it works, or do you prefer to write like in the evening or in the morning? Um,
I
and
prefer to write in the evening. Yeah,
yeah,
it's definitely so. I try to do it at the same time of night,
yeah,
and say because before I did it when I had the darkened room, I did it any time, and it was the case. I tried to make it the same time each.
hmm,
That's the same as I go to the gym at 8 o'clock at night, and
right,
so that's when I go. So then
yep,
with the writing, I need to do it at a different time and balance it. So once I pick the time, and then that's the date
yep,
that's the time that it's done,
stick to
and
it.
there's no substitutions for it. It
Yeah,
has to be.
I like that.
Yeah.
I
So
feel like
no,
that's like you said. It's just like going to the gym. Repetitions. It becomes part of your routine, and then you don't have to be like, oh, when am I going to write? It's like, nope, I'm writing at this time, and it's going to happen because that's just what I do. You know.
yeah, and
So that's a good way to
yeah,
do. I
it's
like it.
absolutely that as well. And it's also the case of if you miss it, yeah, I get a bit bummed out, but it's not like right, I need to make up for it.
Right.
It's like
Yeah.
no, I missed it. You've lost that time.
Yep.
Just do a better job next time, and
Yep.
you say you got to make excuses for yourself because life happens, but at the same time,
Yeah.
no, it's
Yeah. Yep, yeah, and you can't put too much pressure on yourself, right? Or it won't be fun anymore. So
Yeah, yeah, exactly that.
it's that you got to walk that fine line where you're getting it done, but you're also giving yourself some grace, right?
Mm.
So that's a good way to do it. All right, next question. Since you do, it's urban fantasy, so it is modern. So there is some things from time to time you've probably had to research or look up.
Hmm.
Do you pretty much just do all your research through Google because everything's just right there, or do you have people in your life that are experts on things, or people from your past that maybe you bounce things off of or ask questions to, or books that you look at, or is it all just pretty much you just it's at your fingertips, so you Google it up?
So a lot of it's in my own head. So as a kid, I was obsessed with Greek mythology, and it was when I was about 6 or 7, and about 2 years ago, I found the book that I was reading that I used to check out of the library all the time, and I found it and
Oh,
bought it.
nice.
So there's a weird kids book in my office, and it was all in my head, and I all knew. I knew it all anyway, and it's the same with like because it's stuff that I'm interested in.
Hmm.
But if I do need to consider something, I will Google it straight away. Or if if I've got a question on, there was a question about the moon, and my friend's a physicist, so I was asking him questions about spirals and just things, just like that. So if there's
Oh,
anyone in
that's
my
cool.
life that knows something, I'll
Yeah,
I'll I'll
ask
ask them a
them.
question and stuff.
Very nice.
Hmm.
All right. Now you touched on this a little bit earlier too, but I'm interested to know. I know when you're trying to get your notes in or you're trying to write in public, it gets distracting. But when you're in the shed in the dark, do you like to listen to music or have anything, or do you like it to be completely quiet?
Oh, so I ended up having to buy YouTube Premium because I listened to so much, and it's just I'll do like ambient music, and depending on
Oh
what I'm
yeah.
doing, will be so for certain.
Okay.
Say for example,
Scenes or
someone
whatever.
goes to a carnival or a
Hmm.
fair, I'll have that ambient noise
Oh, that's
playing
cool.
in my head. Yeah, and I'll just try and set the mood, and it just helps you get into take a couple of breaths, and it helps you hear it. In one of the in the next book, there's a scene in a disco, and I had for about 3 hours as I wrote it, there was just this funky disco track,
Oh
like
man,
ambient
I
going.
can't wait for that scene.
Yeah, so it's that was quite a fun one to write, and it was
Oh, I
just
bet.
yeah. So it's just I like that. I don't like the silence because
Yeah.
then the voices start screaming. But it's the I like the music. There's a bit of ambience, no lyrics,
Yeah,
just
no lyrics. I
yeah,
feel
just
like that would get it'd be hard to not start typing or listening to it if you heard the lyrics.
yeah.
All right, awesome. Okay, so that was my writing process questions. So
Hmm.
we're at an hour. Do you have a little more time for some more
I've got all
questions?
the time. I have got nothing going on. I'm not
All
that
right.
interesting of a person.
I think you are, but
That's
that's
right.
good that you have time.
Yeah,
I've got a few more questions where we'll just get to know you outside of writing. But
cool.
before we do that, I have a riddle for you that I want to see if
Go
you
for
can
it.
solve. And the chat, you guys can jump in if you think you know the answer. So let's see if you can solve this.
Hmm.
Okay. Um, what has a head and a tail, but no body? What has a head and a tail, but no body?
A coin.
Oh, nicely done. Where's my round of applause? Here it is.
Thank you.
Nicely done. That was a quick one. That was a quick one. Well done. Well done. I saw the wheels turning. That was swift. Well played. Well played. All right. So my first question, we'll start with an easy one. Is
Hmm.
what is your favorite color?
Purple.
Purple. Nice. Always been purple, or is
Yeah,
there a reason, or you just always liked it?
just as a kid, I liked like a really deep
Oh
purple. Well, I
yeah.
have it in my Well, this is just a rubber one, but in my wedding ring is black with purple.
Oh, that's
It's in the
cool.
shop at the moment, getting fixed, but it's
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
there's just a black one. But yeah, it's black and purple
Oh yeah.
sprinkles on it.
It is. I loved a deep purple like that too. I agree. It's a good color. Man, you'll have to send me a picture of your ring when you get it back. That sounds awesome.
Yeah, I'll send a picture to you.
All right. Next question. What's your favorite food? So if you're choosing where you guys are going out to eat or at home, what kind of food are you going for?
So if we're going out, it depends who I'm going with because I love sushi
Oh, me
and
too.
my wife cannot stand it.
Yeah.
So it's yeah, otherwise they're going hungry. So going out, I prefer to go to sushi, but at home, it's anything to do with sorry, let's just start walking past. Um, yeah, if I enjoy meat, and it's the case of I enjoy, but giving it the respect it deserves. Because if
Mhm.
something's died so I can eat it, I like low, slow cooking of
Oh
like
yeah.
yeah. One of my favorite meals is Mongolian beef, and if I make
Oh
that, it's 2.5, 3 hours on low in the oven.
man, probably just falls
So
apart in your mouth.
yeah, it's
Oh,
like butter. And but yeah, normally stuff like that. And but yeah, so if I'm cooking it, it'll be something nice, slow and slow. But if I had the ideal of going out, it'd probably be sushi.
oh, nice, very nice. Yeah, sushi is good. Is there a place nearby you where you can get good sushi?
There's a couple, so we've been to one, and now there's another one across the road, literally across the road from it. So I need to give that a try.
Oh,
And then I'm going
nice.
to London in a couple of well, I'm going to London next week, and we're going out. My wife's going to a concert, and I'm just me and my friend are going out to a sushi place to a fancy
Oh,
one while
nice.
she's watching. She's at the concert, and then we'll all go home together. But
That'll be
that's
fun.
pretty much. Yeah, I like
That's
something
good.
that I can't cook. If I can make it at home, I'll make it at home.
Right. Yeah.
I don't have the skill or
Right.
the ingredients to get sushi.
Oh man, EL says we need to get you to Texas. Low and slow is 12 hours in the smoke.
Oh, yeah, now we're talking.
That's
Yeah,
one. Yeah, that is
yeah.
true. That is some good
Let's
stuff.
throw a whole pig in there. Let's cook
Oh
it
yeah,
slow.
heck yeah. All right. Next question. So
hmm
we know that you are good at this writing thing, but what's
hmm
a talent or a hobby you have that we don't know about?
So, well, I did martial arts for years, and then I
Oh,
stopped a
nice.
couple of years ago.
Okay.
Did judo and karate for years.
Wow, that's cool.
I'd say I can't sing or dance, and I can't play instruments. So I think the two weird things that I have are I'm unusually good at games, not just
Okay.
like video games. Like
Yeah. Board games and stuff.
yeah, board games. If I can learn the rules, I can then suddenly not exploit them, but I can play the game properly. I'm a demon at Texas Hold'em.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah, I was teaching my friend how to play, and we were playing on the computer,
Hmm.
and I just started telling him what everyone else's hands were, and he was like stunned. He's going, "I don't understand how you can do that." I said, "Yeah, but I don't do it professionally because I don't a have the money, and b those things go on for hours. I'm going to walk off and wander off. I can't. I can play for about half an hour tops. I can't. I
Yeah.
can't be there all
Oh,
night."
I know they do go forever.
Yeah, and I think the other talent is probably my memory. Is I can't. I'll walk upstairs. I'm sorry. I'll walk upstairs and my wife will ask me to bring something down, and I'll forget. But I can tell you something that happened. If we had this conversation in 20 years' time, I could tell you bits of it. I could tell you like word for word,
Right. Right.
and I could tell you that. And I can remember. I can't see ever a clip or hear anything about games, films, TV shows, anything because I'll remember that if I don't watch it for another couple of
Yeah.
years. So people forget the spoilers and stuff, and I can't.
It's
It's
just
not
ingrained in
photographic.
them. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was if I could control it, oh, I'd be a millionaire. But I can't. Yeah, stuff just gets in there, and I've got such a strange memory to be able to
Yeah.
remember things. But I can't remember where I left my keys. So it's one of them.
Yeah.
Oops,
What the heck?
yeah, it's not the best one.
Oh man. Well, I'm sure it's come in handy at some point here and there.
Yeah, oh, yeah, I'm a master at Trivial Pursuit. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
useless
There
knowledge.
you
Yeah,
go.
pop quiz.
That's awesome. All right, good answers. Good answers. Next question: have you ever been a gamer? Like, have you ever been into video games, or are you
Oh, my entire life, my entire life.
nice? PC or console?
So console, I only got a PC a couple of years ago, but
Okay,
console all the way.
nice. All right, so then here I got a couple either or questions for you. Then go way back, Nintendo or Sega?
We were a Sega house,
Okay, and then PlayStation or Xbox?
and it's been PlayStation ever since.
Same here. Sega then PlayStation.
Yep.
Nice. All right, what are some of your favorite games?
Of all time, I'd say Final Fantasy VII, the original.
Mm-hmm.
Just I've had about 10 copies of that game over the years. Then I'd say The Witcher 3.
Yes.
Just yeah,
So
just
good. So
brilliant.
good.
Last of Us, of course, the
Yep.
first game that ever made me cry.
Ah, me too.
Yeah, it was brutal, and yeah, so I'd probably say those are my top. Then there's loads of like little games like that just
Oh
bring
yeah.
back nostalgia, like the Streets of Rage series and stuff like that.
So those are so fun. Yeah.
Yeah, if you just want a little beat 'em up just to chill out and zone out.
Yep. Nice. All right. So then you said you got a PC to play games on recently. What made you decide to get that? Was it for a certain game, or is it just something you always wanted to do?
Oh, so I got it originally so I could write on a computer, and then my friends all used to play Age of Empires 2 back in the
Oh yeah.
day,
Hmm.
and so during so we got it. I got the PC originally during lockdown, so we could all
Hmm.
play games together. So
Nice.
we did a bit of
That
that.
was a smart idea. Yeah.
Yeah, so we thought we did that, and then it's just I prefer playing it in the front room, but
Mm.
obviously PC's just got so many more games, and
Oh
you
yeah.
can get all the emulators and
Oh yeah.
such.
So many things you can do. Hmm.
Yeah.
Very cool. Now, do you write on that computer, or do you write on something else?
I do both. So I did used to write. I wrote on that computer. I wrote the Lich Before the Darkness on the
Okay.
PC, and now I've returned to the shed. It's on the laptop.
Nice, nice. Very cool. All right. What are some of your favorite movies and TV shows that you've
Right.
watched?
So Lord of the Rings, top, absolutely tops.
Hmm.
Can't be
Hmm.
beaten. Anytime. It's perfection. For both book and film. Say TV shows. I be honest. Game of Thrones ruined everything for me. Because when it first came out, obviously we don't talk about season 8, but when
Right,
it
right.
first came out, it was such the caliber of writing was so
Oh,
good,
so good.
and it was if you're going to hold my attention for an hour, you
Hmm.
need it straight away.
Yep.
And then, like again, the first episode, there's incest, there's murder, there's everything going on and there's monsters and everything. You're like, what's
Yeah.
going on? And because I know so many people, like some people have recommended Supernatural to me,
Hmm.
but they all say, "Oh, it gets good at season 3." So I'm not watching through like 20, 40 hours of TV to
Oh,
watch.
I think it gets good right away. You should watch it.
I've seen a
You
couple
like
of
the
clips,
urban
and
fantasy stuff. I think you'd dig it. You'd dig it.
yeah, I've seen a couple of clips, and it looks good. But again, it's like I have to
But they
give it a
are
go.
long seasons too. Like they're like 20 episodes per season, and there's
Yeah, that's what I
12 seasons.
mean.
Yeah,
But if
so
people
it's
tell
a
me it gets good at
commitment.
season 3, that's 40 episodes of
Yeah,
TV. I got to
yeah,
go for
yeah.
before it gets good.
That's true.
Yeah, but I've just finished. I like little sick. I just like something while I have my dinner. I
Oh yeah.
like Superstore. I've watched a couple of
Oh
times.
yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, Community and
Yeah.
Friends and all the
Oh yeah,
classics.
I love that stuff. Have you watched Schitt's Creek?
Yeah,
I love that one too.
yeah. Schitt's Creek was great.
That's a good one. All right, awesome. Now, what about books? What are some of your favorite books and authors that you've read?
So classics would be J.R.R. Tolkien, Tolkien. Again, The Hobbit, Lord of the Rings. Grew up
Yep.
watching that. Stephen King, I've started to get into. So The Long Walk was obviously coming out at the
Oh yeah.
cinema.
Yep.
So I read
Yep.
the book
Nice.
for the
Yep.
film. Um, I'd say one actually. I don't know if many people have heard him. There's a guy called Yahtzee Croshaw,
Mm-mm.
and I've read everything he's written. So
Oh man, to write this down.
yeah, he's a game reviewer, and so every week for the past like 16, 17 years, every week on Wednesday he's done 5 minute game reviews, and his writing I just think is brilliant. He's cynical, and it's just the ideas that he has and the way that he portrays things and says. But I mean, if you go and check it out, just type in zero punctuation or fully rambomatic is the new one that he does. And
Okay.
he wrote a couple of books himself, and again, they're all sci-fi, and a couple of them are there's two urban fantasies and stuff. And I think you ever see this, Ben? Great, but it's just, yeah, I think he's an amazing, absolutely amazing writer, and I've got all of his books, and I've got them all on audiobook as well,
Oh nice.
and yeah, they're brilliant. So he's worth checking out. So
Okay.
yeah,
Very
and
cool.
yeah, so that's pretty much that.
Okay. What did you say his name was again?
Yahtzee Croshaw.
Okay, that's what I wrote down. Okay, I
Yeah.
got it right. That's awesome, man. I always love hearing about new authors, so that's cool. Um, now, what made you want to? Two things. One, you just made me think. I forgot to ask you if you were planning to do an audiobook for my audio listeners. If you're planning to do an audiobooks eventually for your book, I know it's an expensive thing. It's hard to figure it out, but I didn't know if you had a plan to maybe eventually do it.
So eventually I like to do it, but then I don't have the nicest voice. I think with an audiobook, you need someone
I
who's
think you have
got.
a pretty cool voice, man. I think you could do it.
Yeah, I think it's the case if you want someone who like it's audible chocolate when they talk to you. I did a clip on that on my Instagram of it happening because if I'm gonna be whispering in your ear for about 20 hours,
Ooh.
you don't want someone to get annoyed. Even my wife
Uh,
will tell me to shut up. My voice is annoying, so I don't want strangers thinking that.
I think it would be good, man. But that's it's good that you're thinking about it. Josh from already Overbooked just popped in, and he said that he's reading your book right now, and that he really liked the introduction too, which I told you was really good.
Oh,
So there
thank
you
you very
go.
much.
There you go.
Again, it's still so weird. I know we're talking about it, but it's so weird that people have read it. It's like I wrote that, and people are reading it from all over the world. It's bizarre to me still.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, get used to it, man, because it's just gonna keep happening more and more. All right, awesome stuff, man. Let's see. Oh, so well, and I'll end it up here. I've got some either or questions for you. All right. So first
Go for it.
one, Star Wars or Star Trek?
Star Wars,
All
but
right.
put Picard in Star Wars.
Yes, I like that. That's actually a good idea. I like that. All right. Did you when you were younger? Did you watch Ninja Turtles?
Oh yeah, of course I did.
Yeah,
Michelangelo all the way.
yes, he's my favorite too. Nice.
Yeah,
Okay. All
he's a
right.
party dude.
Heck yeah, man. All right. DC or Marvel?
DC because of the Batman.
Yeah, same, same. All right. If Batman wasn't there, I probably would say Marvel, but because of
Yeah,
Batman, it's definitely DC.
he's got the best villains in the business.
Oh,
He's
heck
got the
yeah.
best rose gallery.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. Nice. Okay. All right. Final question here has to
Mhm.
do with fruit. I need to know what is the superior, better tasting grape, red grapes or green grapes?
Red grapes all the way.
Nice. Yes. See, this is why we're friends.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, yeah. Crush them up, turn them into wine. It's great.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. All right, awesome stuff, man. All right, so before I go into my ending thing, you did have one more long form joke you wanted to tell us.
So, yeah, it's quite a long joke, everyone. So if you need the toilet, pause it and go now. So
Grab a
it's a
snack.
it's yeah. I heard this one as a kid, and I absolutely love this joke, and it's ridiculous. But right, so one day this guy's driving down the road, and his car breaks down, and he looks around, and there's nothing around, but he looks up, and there's a monastery. And he's like, maybe they got a phone or something. He knocks on the door, and this monk answers the door. And he's like, "Oh, you're right. How's it going?" He's like, "Yeah, sorry, my car broke down." He went, "Yeah, no problem. Come on in. You can use our phone. A couple of the guys used to be mechanics. We'll sort it out." And he walks into this monastery, and it's all peaceful and beautiful, and it's just surrounded by guys who have like given up everything and become monks. And so they're like, "Oh yeah, come in. We'll get your clothes sorted. We'll get you sorted. Come have dinner with us and all that." So he spends the night with them. He drinks their own brewed beer. They cook the most beautiful food. His clothes are washed, and all the holes in them are sewn up. And his car gets fixed in the night, and it's amazing. And so he sleeps on the softest bed, and it's just bliss. And in the middle of the night, he wakes up to about 2 o'clock in the morning. He just hears a noise, this and he can't figure out what it is. And he goes back to sleep. In the morning, they're all having breakfast, and they're all asking how he slept and all talking. And he says, "Oh yeah, I heard this noise. I woke up about 2 o'clock last night, and I heard this strange noise, and the room goes silent, and they're all staring at him." And he's like, "Well, what?" And they were like, "Yeah, we can't tell you what that noise is." It's like, "Why not?" He's like, "You're not a monk. I can't tell you what your noise is." And so he goes, "Okay." So that morning he leaves, gets to the car, waves goodbye, drives away, and the car's good as new. They fixed it like it's brand new. And he drives off and lives his life. Decades later, he's driving down the same road, and the car breaks down again. And he's in the same car, and he looks up and he's like, "No way." Goes up, knocks on the monastery door, and the same monk answers the door, and they recognize him, and they invite him back in. And oh wow, you still got the same car, brilliant. And he sits down with them for dinner, tells them all about his life and his family and everything, and again drinks the fine beer, and he sleeps on the softest bed, and he dreamy dreams, and then middle of the night he wakes up 2 o'clock in the morning again, same noise, and he goes back to sleep. Wakes up in the morning, sits down with breakfast. Same thing happens. He asks about the noise, and the whole room goes silent, and they're all looking at him. And he says, "Can't tell you, you're not a monk." And he went, "Right. Well, my kids have all left home. Me and the wife are divorced. I've got nothing going on. What do I have to do to become a monk? And he's like, right. If you want to become a monk, you've got to wander the earth, count every blade of grass and every grain of sand, and you'll understand. And then come back and tell me. So he goes, okay. So they take all his clothes, they give him a robe, they give him a walking stick, and they give him a bottle of water. They send him on his way. And he wanders the earth for years and years. And he counts every blade of grass and every grain of sand. And then he comes back to the monastery, much older, much wiser. And he talks to the head monk and he says, right, how many blades of grass are there? And he's like, 17 billion, squillion, billion. He's like, okay, and how many grains of sand? Oh, 24 billion, squillion, million. And he's like, do you understand? He's like, yes, I understand. He went, right, now I can tell you. So they walk down around the back of the monastery. There's these old stone steps, and they walk down them, and they get to this wooden door. And he tries to open the door, and it's locked. And all the monks are laughing at him. And he's like, "Come on, lads, come on!" So they unlock the door, and he goes through, and there's a silver door. And he goes through the silver door, and there's a gold door. And he goes through the gold door, and there's a black obsidian door. And he slowly opens the handle, opens the door, and he finally understands what the noise is. And that's it. That's it.
What is it, man?
Well, I can't tell you, you're not a monk. I love that joke. Sorry, just take people into deep waters and then don't give them a payoff. Love it.
That is a good storyteller joke. Oh, I'm sure you ate that up as a kid. You were probably on the edge of your seat as they go through all the doors.
If you tell that one at a party, when everyone's started chilling down, you've had a couple of drinks, people will lean in and go, "What's going on?" But yeah,
Well
I love
done,
that
well
joke.
done. That deserves two sounds. First, for anyone that's disappointed, but it also deserves this because it was well done. Nicely done, man. That's good stuff. All right, awesome, dude. I had a blast chatting with you, man. I
Yeah,
can't
it was
believe an
great
hour
meeting
and
you.
20 minutes went by this quick. I'm excited to finish your book, but I'm also just excited for you and for people to find out about your book and more people to read it, so that by the time book 2 comes out, you'll have some rabid fans just freaking out wanting that book 2.
Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, thanks everyone for the questions and joining in, being here. And thanks for having me on. It was just, I was really nervous at first, but I've kind of relaxed now. So yeah, we can just do another hour and 20. It'll be fun.
Yeah, right. It's good. It's good.
Yeah, it's good. Go.
Well, as I say, this is called Beast Friends Forever for a reason. We are Beast Friends Forever now, my friends. So
Yeah,
anytime you want to come on again for anything, for sure, every time you have a book come out, I'd love to have you on. But anytime you want to come on to just chat or hang out or shout anything out, let me know, and I got your back, man. I'd love to have you back anytime.
yeah, we'll do. I will say to everyone, if you follow me on Instagram and all that, keep your eyes open because there's going to be a big collab coming in the next
Ooh.
couple of, very short future. I'm just waiting on a couple of things. It's like herding cats, getting other people to join in, but it's about a 10-person collab happening soon.
Nice. That's awesome. Yep. So people can find you on Instagram and TikTok, right?
Yep, Instagram and TikTok. Yep.
All right, there you go. And again, it's in the description down below and a link to Timothy's book, The Lich Before the Darkness, which is hilarious and awesome. Go check it out. But we're going to end it here. So, everybody, thank you so much for hanging out. We appreciate it. I just noticed everybody was saying no because they don't know the answer to the joke. You got him. Well done. Well done. But thank you, chat, for being here. You guys were fantastic. As always, if you're watching this on replay, thank you. We appreciate you too. I'll see you in the next one. And as I always say, until that next one, devour your TBRs, be brave, be beautiful to one another, and be beastly. We'll see you, everybody. Have a great weekend.